Hi, I'm Dr. Achyuthan Eswar, co-founder of nutritionscience.in and sampurnaahara.com. It's fantastic to have you with us here on the Health Revolution 2022. Before I begin, I'd like to say a big thanks to Dr. Rupa and Ruchika, who have been able to put together this fantastic, phenomenal summit of getting so many doctors together and getting so many thousands of people together like you interested in eating healthier, in living healthier, and living a longer, happier, healthier life together. Today, I'm going to be talking about boosting immunity through plant-based nutrition. I'd like to start with a personal story. When I was young, growing up in my childhood, I would watch my mother suffer from several chronic diseases. One of them was sinusitis. If you have anyone with chronic sinusitis at home, or if you yourself have it, you know how difficult it can be when you get an attack. When you're down with sinusitis, it's difficult to breathe, it's difficult to talk, it's difficult to smell, it's difficult to sleep. I remember there used to be so many days when Amma would not be lying down. She would be sitting down, propped up with cushions, or sitting in the sofa, sitting on a chair, and sleeping. And years later, when we asked her, how come you're not lying down? She would say that I'm not able to go to sleep lying down. If I lie down, my nose gets blocked, so I have to sit up and sleep. Many years she did that. And then after the point when I decided to become a doctor, so in my childhood when I was about 12 years old, I had this dream one day that I was stranded on a desert island with nobody to help me. I was sick and weak, and the sun was setting, and if I did not recover fast, I'd be gobbled up by all the wolves and the vultures around me. It was a childhood dream, and I woke up in fear, drenched in sweat. And I thought to myself, what if there is a way by which we can heal without medicines? Then so many people all over the world could live so much healthier lives, right? So I went to my parents and told them, Amma, Appa, I've decided to find a way by which I can heal without medicines. And they looked at each other and they said, okay, my father is a software engineer, my mother is an architect. We have no clue about medicine and how it all works. And here is this boy saying he wants to heal without even using medicines. I said, okay, let's see, let's figure it out. And over the next few years, they helped me explore so many different modalities. My mother went to Siddha doctors, Unani doctors, Ayurveda doctors. I interned with many of them myself to see what they do and how they do it. But I found that no matter which doctor I went to, they would still give medicines. And then finally, just after I finished my 12th standard, my mother found, through our friends and relatives, a fantastic hospital near Bangalore. It was called Vyasa, or S. Vyasa as it was called then. It was a yoga university and hospital. And under the guidance of Dr. Nagaratna, my mother got treated there for 7 days. I remember when she left, she told us later that she felt that this was going to be her last journey. She felt so bad, so unhealthy and so sick and diseased and filled with pain. And in 7 days, when she came back home, she was completely transformed. Her sinusitis had disappeared. Her migraine had disappeared. She had lost 10 kgs of weight. She was more active and energetic than we had ever seen her before for the last few years. And she was so much more active than all of us kids, me and my two sisters put together, were not nearly as active and energetic as she was. And we'd watch her make these huge salads every day and make a ragi porridge and this delicious chapatis that she would eat, and then make the regular stuff for us. And slowly we said, Amma, we'd like to taste some of what you're eating as well. And then she slowly changed our lifestyle as a family towards a healthier diet. And she told me, hey, you said that you want to heal without medicines. This place that I went to, they didn't give me any medicines. So do you want to check it out? I said, yes, that's exactly what I want to do. So I became a doctor of naturopathy and yogic sciences. I did a course called BNYS, which is a 5.5-year medical degree for becoming a doctor of naturopathy and yogic sciences at the SDM college in Dharmasthala. And when I graduated, I was filled with so many experiences of treating and curing without any kind of medications, whether it's regular allopathic medications or herbal therapies or any other medicines of any kind. I felt, wow, the body is so fantastic. You know, the first line, the first sentence they spoke when we sat in the class for the first time was this: the body heals itself. All you need to do is support that healing process, and it is possible to prevent a majority of chronic diseases, to treat it, and even reverse them to a significant extent just by following a healthy enough lifestyle, living life like nature intended us to live life. So, when I came back home, I graduated, I found that my mother's sinusitis had been gone for good. My sisters, my father, the rest of my family, who used to fall sick very often, like once a month, we would be at a nearby doctor's clinic for some cold, cough, fever, something or the other. They had not gone to a doctor in years. They felt so much better. Even if they developed a cold, it'll be a slight cold, it'll go away in a day or two. And that once a month falling sick with fever, that just completely stopped. And what's more, my grandparents had started recovering from their chronic diseases. My grandmother and grandfather, both of them were diagnosed with diabetes and hypertension when they were in their 30s and 40s. So, when I graduated, it was about 30 years that they'd been suffering from diabetes, my grandmother, and hypertension for my grandfather by that time. And in 10 days, when they changed their diet, in just 10 days' time, their complete health changed. It turned around. My grandmother's diabetes reduced by 90%. Her sugar levels came down from around 300 down to 160 to 180. And my grandfather's blood pressure came down from 200 by 100 down to 120 by 80. Both of them approaching normal with 90% less medications. The rest of my family, all my relatives got together and said, wow, this is a miracle. How did this happen? I told them, that's science, that's plant-based nutrition, that's naturopathy. That is what happens when you live your life in line with nature. That's what happens when you follow science and eat a healthier diet, follow a healthier lifestyle. So I would like to share with you, friends, in this video how you can take the same lessons that scientists have researched upon for decades, more than a century now, how you can take traditional Indian practices, which you may have been subconsciously following to some extent already, learn the science behind them and apply it to boost your immunity today. There are three things that I'm going to be talking about. One is allergies, colds and coughs, falling sick. What we generally mean when we say I fell sick last week, and infections, right? Number two, autoimmune diseases, and number three, chronic inflammatory conditions. So let me start with the immune system. The immune system, it's like the police of the body. It's their job to make sure that all the cells are working correctly, to make sure that nothing from outside comes in and harms the body. So what they do is they patrol around. So if you see the how the blood flows in our arteries, there are many medical animations about it online. You can just Google it and check how the blood flows through the arteries. It's beautiful. The red blood cells are like coins that are just floating in the river of the blood, while the white blood cells are actually crawling along the edge of the arteries, crawling along the artery wall, trying to find out where and what problem exists here. As soon as they find a problem, they go about fixing it. Okay. The problem with the reason why we develop infections and why we develop colds, coughs, and fevers so often is because the immune system has not been able to sufficiently fight off certain bacteria or viruses. Sometimes it's because those bacteria and virus set up a kind of immune response in the body that's over exaggerated and then causes it to cause further harm to the body itself. Many different ways by which this happens. But if your immune system is strong to begin with, then there's a good chance that you will be able to go through life as if nothing happened. A bacteria, a virus, a microbe may have gone in, your immune system may have fought it off, and we're none the wiser. We didn't even realize it. That's what I'd like life to be, right? Everything works smoothly the way it's supposed to, right? So that's number one. And number two, autoimmune diseases. What happens in an autoimmune disease is that the body's immune system starts fighting the body's own cells. It's not able to recognize correctly what is the body's cell and what is something that comes in from outside, and it starts fighting. And number three, chronic inflammatory diseases. This is when an inflammation that's supposed to happen for a short time continues for weeks and months and years together, damaging the body over the long run. And all of these tend to happen because of an immune system that's not functioning to its optimal capacity. Why does this happen? There are a number of reasons. The most important, the biggest reason, the biggest factor is food. That's number one. Number two is physical exercise. Number three is mental relaxation and sleep. There are a few more like exposure to toxins, exposure to agents that cause infections, so on. But these three are the big major three reasons that are within your control. You can use it to improve your immunity. Okay. Now, out of these three, food, body, and mind, food plays the most important, crucial role. Why does this happen? Why does it play the important role? That's because the weapons that the immune system needs to fight off infections, to do their job properly, comes from the food that you eat. Right? Imagine you have a huge army inside your body, ready to fight, ready to take care of you, and you need to supply it with those weapons that it needs. Those weapons come from the food that you eat. Many of them are called phytonutrients. What do phytonutrients mean? Phytonutrients are plant nutrients. So when you take any food, you have carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins, minerals, water, and fiber. Now, these seven things you probably already knew about. There is another class of nutrients called phytonutrients. Phyto means plants and nutrients are nutrients. Now, these phytonutrients are what give each plant their unique, the taste, the flavor, the smell, color, all the unique properties. A lot of them come from the phytonutrients. A plant makes phytonutrients to keep itself safe, to keep itself healthy. Like, for example, chlorophyll is a phytonutrient, right? You know what chlorophyll does, right? It takes harvests sunlight, captures energy from sunlight, and uses that to produce glucose, to produce energy in the leaves of a plant. Now, it's like a small little solar cell inside a leaf, right? Now, this is crazy. This research paper actually found out what happens when you consume green leafy vegetables. Is that chlorophyll going to help your body in any way? And this is what the researchers found, right? They studied it on on smaller life forms, and some of them studied it on human beings as well. What they found that it may be possible for that chlorophyll to be digested by your body, absorbed into your blood, and distributed to all your cells. And then, about half an hour, 1 hour after you eat greens, if you step out in sunlight, sunlight hits your skin, goes through your skin into your body. The chlorophyll actually helps your body capture that energy and produce more energy just because you're standing in sunlight. Isn't that crazy? So amazing what the body can do. Like, you can literally make energy from the sun if you eat in leafy greens, an hour before you step into sunlight. So, like chlorophyll, there are more than 1 lakh phytonutrients that we've discovered so far, and more being discovered every day. So, food is not just about filling up your stomach or eating your carbohydrate, fats, and proteins. It's about getting a wide range of nutrients, a wide range of phytonutrients into your body and helping to arm your immune system and keep it strong to keep you safe. So when you start consuming this, when you start eating a wider variety, you get also a wider range of nutrients that do different functions in the body. For example, garlic phytonutrients help your lungs and your blood vessels stay healthy. Beetroot phytonutrients, that's why you get garlic bread, because once you eat garlic, it goes through the blood and then it gets breathed out through your lungs. Right? And then when you eat beetroot, for example, beetroot phytonutrients tend to target your urinary bladder and your kidneys. So sometimes after eating beetroot, if you may have noticed that your urine is a little bit pink, that's because not because of blood, it's because of the beetroot phytonutrients that are actually getting filtered out by the kidneys. So amazing. Everyone has a different target, and every one of these phytonutrients has a different function. Many of them are immune modulators. They help to strengthen various parts of your immune system. Turmeric, for example, is one of the best phytonutrients that tends to have the widest range of benefits to your body, including supporting your immune system to stay healthy. So what happens when you don't consume enough of these? Your immune health starts dropping. They actually did this. For 2 weeks, they put people on a diet which didn't have enough fruits and vegetables, and they tracked the health of their immune system throughout. And what they found was at the end of 2 weeks, their immune health dropped like a rock. And then what they did was they gave them tomato juice for 2 more weeks. I think after that, carrot juice for 2 weeks, and then spinach powder for another 2 weeks. And what they found was with just that single glass of tomato juice, their immune system strength got boosted up, and it kept going up until it hit back to normal the more whole plant foods that you ate. And which fruits and vegetables are healthy? Is tomato the healthiest one? No, all of them are healthy. In fact, at one of our recent events, one of the participants, they'd come for the first time, of course, and they brought some food with them to share with everyone else. It was a potluck. And they said we were all introducing our meals. I had introduced, this is the dishes that we brought from Sampurna Ahara, and they introduced their stuff, and they said that so today we brought some healthy fruits. And I was curious, what do you mean healthy fruits? And they said, no, we've not brought the usual banana and orange. We've got strawberries, kiwis, and dragon fruit, the healthier fruits, right? I said, no, not really. They're not the healthiest fruit here in Bangalore, where I live. They maybe have been the healthiest fruits from where they're from, but definitely not here in our city. Local fruits, seasonal fruits are the ones that have the highest concentration of phytonutrients and the best benefits for you right here. And orange that you get in Bangalore or grapes that you get in Bangalore are much healthier, maybe much healthier than a fruit that's imported from somewhere else. It also has a lot of factors based on how long it's been since it was harvested, what temperature it's been stored at, and many other factors. But as a thumb rule, choosing local and seasonal can get you better results almost every single time. Yeah. Now, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, pulses, legumes, nuts, and seeds, all of them have unique benefits. I'll share some of those benefits with you. Now, what happens when you get an allergic reaction? What happens when your body undergoes an autoimmune disease or a chronic inflammatory disease? Is different types of reactions every time. But what's similar between all of these is that the immune system is involved and is compromised in various ways. Right? For example, let me explain what happens in a chronic inflammatory disease. When you stub your toe against something, it swells up, it becomes red and painful. That's called acute inflammation. It goes away in a few days and you're fine after that, right? But chronic inflammation is if the same thing happens in your body for a long period of time and causes damage to your internal organs. For example, that's how damage happens to your knee joints in osteoarthritis. That's how damage happens to your arteries in chronic heart disease, in coronary heart disease. That's how damage happens to the pancreas, for example, and muscles and liver in diabetes. Okay. Now, all of these issues are tied back to your immune health, and from there back to your diet. So what are the foods that tend to lower immune function? What are the foods that tend to cause problems related to lowered immunity? There are broadly two types of food: animal foods and processed foods. So animal foods include meat, fish, eggs, and dairy products like milk, curds, cheese, yogurt, paneer, butter, buttermilk, and ghee. What these foods tend to do is they contain more saturated fat, more cholesterol. In fact, they're the only ones that contain cholesterol. There's no cholesterol in plant foods. They don't have fiber, they don't have phytonutrients. So when we consume them, there's something called a leaky gut syndrome set up in the intestine. You may have heard some other speakers speaking about this during the summit. So leaky gut, what happens there is the proteins from the animal foods get half digested and then absorbed into the body as these big chunks of protein. And then the white blood cells try to come and destroy those, send them out of the body, and then they get confused. This is the important part. They go around to the rest of the body trying to find out where the other diseased and dying cells and where the other foreign matter is. And they recognize that, hey, isn't that the protein we destroyed some time back? And they go and start destroying it. Okay. And it turns out that that's not a foreign protein. It's similar to the animal protein because we're also animals, but it happens to be our own protein. And that is how autoimmune diseases are triggered and caused. There are a lot of other mechanisms that happen alongside, but this is like basic underlying mechanism. Okay. Chronic inflammatory diseases are also caused in a similar fashion when the immune cells start setting up unnecessary defenses, start attracting other immune cells towards them, and start causing inflammation, swelling, and pain, leading to chronic diseases. So, what do you do if you are looking to improve your immunity, reduce your risk of infections, reduce your risk of autoimmune diseases, reduce your risk of chronic diseases? If you want to live a longer, healthier life with a healthy immune system, what should you aim towards? There is one thumb rule that you can keep in mind. When you do your blood test, your complete blood count, the CBC, you get this number called the total leukocyte count, which is the total WBC count. That's all the immune cells in your body put together. And what research has found is that the stronger they are, the stronger the individual cells are, the less number of cells your body actually needs in order to stay healthy. So in most lab tests, you'll see the range from 4,000 to 11,000 cells. But research has shown that if it's slightly lower, around 3,000 to 3,500, that's when you have ideal immunity. So, go back and check what was your total WBC count the last time you did a blood test. If it's between 3,000 to 3,500 or around 4,000, then you have a pretty good immunity. If it's higher, then it means you may not have such a good immunity as you thought, and now it's time to start doing something about it. So let's get down to business and let's talk about what are these changes to make. I spoke about animal foods and minimizing and eliminating them. The second type of food group that causes these issues is processed foods. Now, processed foods, let me define that for you quickly. Processed foods are any food from which something good is removed or something bad is added. For example, take a handful of groundnuts. Those groundnuts are a whole food. You eat them whole, you roast it, grind it, make a paste, make a powder. As long as you're eating the whole thing, it's a whole food. But if you squeeze those groundnuts and remove the fiber from it along with all of its phytonutrients, then it becomes a processed food. And so that's number one. Number two, if you take a big bunch of spinach, palak, and you make a sabji out of it, you make a stir fry from it, and then you add 1 spoon of oil to it, that palak becomes a processed food because you added something bad to it. By this definition, pretty much everything we eat is a processed food. But also, most traditional Indian dishes are very easy to convert to a whole plant food. I'll show you some examples in a couple of minutes. So, if not all these foods, what are the foods that do help to boost immunity? Whole plant-based foods, including fruits and berries, green leafy vegetables, cruciferous vegetables, and many other vegetables, dals, pulses, legumes, nuts and seeds, whole grains like brown rice, red rice, millets, whole wheat, oats and barley and rye, and most importantly, herbs and spices. A lot of us know this. Herbs and spices are good for us, especially for immunity. So, drink a kashayam with ginger and honey in it, drink a turmeric latte. Unfortunately, some of these methods may not work as well, because when you drink a turmeric latte with milk and turmeric in it, the turmeric may protect you from the harmful effects of the milk, but the benefits of the turmeric are outweighed by the damage the milk causes to your body. So it may not be the best idea. On the other hand, if you have turmeric with, say, almond milk, then that may actually help you to boost your immunity. Having ginger tea with honey, for example, the honey may take away some of the benefits that the ginger is giving you. But if you have the same ginger tea with date syrup, with homemade date syrup at home, just soaked and ground up dates, then you get the benefit of the ginger and you get the benefit of the dates also. So it's a double bonus. Right? So there are ways by which you use your herbs and spices, which are the most concentrated forms of antioxidants in nature, to boost your own immunity. So what I'd like to do now is I'd like to show you how to apply these principles, how to eat a whole food plant-based diet for boosting immunity in your everyday meals and snacks. And before I do this, let me give you a little background about the foods that I'm about to show you. I have some foods right here that I will demonstrate to you, show them to you, and explain how we made it. After I graduated as a doctor, I've consulted hundreds of patients, and I found that learning how to change your diet, that's the crucial part. That's what makes the difference between being successful at something like diabetes reversal and reversing it, just reducing sugar levels for a month and then seeing it shoot back up. So we started a website called nutritionscience.in, which is a fantastic online learning platform for plant-based nutrition. It has a plant-based recipes course with over 200 whole food plant-based recipes. So if you're wondering how to make paneer butter masala, you want to make naans, you want to make cakes and cookies and ice cream, Christmas is coming up, so you want to make Christmas cake, you can sign up now for a free course that shows you how to make more than 200 of these fantastic recipes, including everything that I just named, using only whole food plant-based ingredients. The best part is it's free. And we have a masterclass, which is a guided program for disease reversal through plant-based nutrition as well. And few years later, after conducting more than 200 in-person workshops and several online ones, every single time we'd have participants come up to us and say, "Doctor, this is great. I'm going to change my life. But can you also tell me if there's anyone who's cooking this food and delivering it to our home? Life would be so much easier, right?" So then we started Sampurna Ahara, which is India's first whole food plant-based social enterprise. And we prepare whole food plant-based meals and sweets and snacks and cakes and cookies and breads and condiments, more than 750 different dishes and products that we deliver all over India. Meals are delivered in Bangalore and everything else is delivered all over India. So it's finally super duper easy to eat whole food plant-based, stay healthy and snack guilt-free while preventing and reversing disease. So I'm going to show you how we do it at Sampurna Ahara and how you can do it at home as well. So let me pick up this meal here. So this is my next meal, which has just arrived from the Sampurna Ahara kitchen. We deliver all our meals in reusable or compostable packaging. We have zero plastic. I'm sure you're reading a lot about microplastics and how they might be affecting health. We avoid all of that because we don't have any plastic at all. So I'm going to open this tiffin box and give you a live example of what a balanced meal for boosting immunity could look like. So the first dish in this box is a box of freshly cut watermelon pieces with a few mint leaves on top. Now, I recommend starting every meal with a serving of fruits, and I'll tell you why. Now, when you eat a meal with just cooked food, the antioxidant content of your blood stays somewhat the same for the next 6 hours. If that meal contains any unhealthy ingredients, like if you add oil to it or dairy products like a ghee or butter or buttermilk or curds, then your antioxidant level tends to go down for the next 6 hours and then slowly come back up. Now remember, these antioxidants are what our body uses to keep you healthy. So you want them to stay up, not down. So research found that when you start your meal with some fruits, when you eat some fruits first and then proceed with the rest of your meal, your antioxidant level gets a nice boost right after you eat your meal, and it stays elevated for the next 6 hours after you eat it. Then slowly it returns back to baseline, but then it's time for your next meal, so you can have another meal with fruits. Another advantage is it leaves you feeling light but full at the same time. Our participants at workshops and people who get our meals say that it feels full and light. And I tell them that's the way every meal is supposed to feel. And this is the reason why you start your meal with some fruits. The second dish of today's meal, let me take it out here. It's going to be a mystery what's going to come. Second dish is some fantastic, delicious salad. Now, this salad is made with some lettuce leaves, there's some tomato, some cucumbers, some nool kol. So, nool kol and lettuce, these are the two superstars of this salad, and I'll tell you why. Right? And we have some capsicum, some corn, some mildly toasted peanuts, some raisins there, and a dressing made from fresh dill herb. So let me tell you why lettuce and nool kol, which is a cruciferous vegetable or kohlrabi, why these two are the superstars of this salad. So the healthiest vegetables for us by far of all the vegetables are green leafy vegetables. They have a higher antioxidant concentration than any other type of vegetables, and a much lower calorie count, which is double great. So we like to add at least 1 cup of raw green leafy vegetables to every single meal. And that's why this meal has lettuce in it, and it has greens in a couple of other dishes too, which I'll show you in a minute. Okay. And kohlrabi or nool kol, which is a cruciferous vegetables. Now, cruciferous vegetables are the most powerful anti-cancer vegetables, and they are healthiest when you eat them raw without cooking. So the salad has nool kol that's hidden in it, and that's going to protect you from cancer by supporting your immune system to find cancer cells and destroy them. Did you know, this is something surprising I learned, that at any given time right now in my body, in your body, there are about 10 to 40 tumors that are currently growing. But the tumors are so small, so tiny that you don't even notice it. It's not big enough to be seen. Your immune system hunts these tumors down, finds them, and destroys them before they can become a problem. And the nool kol in this salad is going to help my immune system do this today. And the third dish from today's meal is this one, a delicious serving of freshly grated amla pickle. So amla is nice and sour, nice strong taste, right? And it has the highest antioxidant concentration of any food ever tested in the history of medicine until today in the world. So saying a lot. So it's not blackberry or blueberry or acai berry or goji berry. It's actually amla, which is the Indian gooseberry. So we make a fresh amla pickle with every single balanced meal at Sampurna Ahara. The way we make it is we just grate the amla, we mix it with some little bit of mustard paste to give it that nice pickle flavor, some turmeric powder and a pinch of salt and some chili, some fresh chopped green chilies. And that's it. No cooking, no stir frying, no fermenting, no putting it in oil, nothing. It gets made in hardly 2 minutes if you're making it for your family at home, right? And the reason we don't cook it, you might think, well, okay, let me just cook this amla pickle, I'll keep it in the fridge and have it for a week. It doesn't really work. Why? Because cooked amlas tend to have their tannins destroyed, their antioxidant count reduces, and you don't get that fantastic protection from infections and cancers and diabetes and hypertension and heart disease if you eat cooked amla instead of having the raw one. So raw amla pickle is what we recommend every single time. You can also have it in many other ways. If you just enjoy eating amla straight as it is, fantastic, go for it. Okay, and so that is the first part of the meal, which has all raw dishes, uncooked dishes, and then we move on to the next part of the meal. Now, do you need to leave a gap in between these two? Science has found that you don't need to leave any gap. There was a theory called the food combining theory, post in the 60s, 1960s, where they said that you should eat fruit separately, cooked food separately. But then later they found out that it's not actually true when they researched it, and you can start your meal with fruits and vegetables and eat your cooked food next, and that actually helps you. It eases your digestion, it improves your gut microbiome, improves your antioxidant levels, and feels great as well. So the next part of our meal is right here. The next part of the meal is some delicious vegetable makhni. So this is a North Indian meal that I got today from Sampurna Ahara. We have both North Indian and South Indian options, and this one is the North Indian option. So this has some potatoes, some beans, some carrots, and some cauliflowers that's chopped up and cooked in this fantastic creamy buttery makhani gravy. Now, how did we make this? This has zero butter, by the way, no oil also. The vegetables are steamed, not fried, and it tastes absolutely fantastic, delicious. My mouth is watering already. So how did we make this? We used nut butters instead of dairy butter. So cashew butter, for example, or almond butter, or even peanut butter are fantastic alternatives for dairy butter. And how do you use them? You simply cook the vegetables, you put all your masalas, you cook it all together, and finally you add a dollop of nut butter, cook it for a couple of minutes, and it's ready. It makes it super smooth and creamy, just like this. Okay, and that's how we made the vegetable makhni, which is the cooked vegetable dish for this meal. And then we have our roti and rice. So this one is a methi roti. Something interesting about grains, so this is made from whole wheat, not maida, and it has zero oil, and it has methi leaves in it. One of the reasons why we had methi leaves is because green leafy vegetables are so healthy for you, right? And the other reason is because when you grind up whole grains, like this roti is made from wheat flour, when you grind it up, what happens is the starch becomes a lot easier for the body to digest and absorb. So because of that, the sugar level in your blood tends to spike up a little more than if you just eat rice or millets or dalia or any form of intact or broken grain. So to kind of slow down that absorption, if you add something slightly bitter like methi leaves or cumin seeds, jeera roti, methi leaves, methi roti. If you add even methi seed powder, even that is going to slow down your digestion and lead to a lower blood sugar levels after your meal. So that's two reasons why we add methi in our rotis. And the next dish, which I'll show you right here, we have some really lovely looking banana leaf separators for all these dishes. And we have a bowl of barnyard millet. So millets are amazing health boosting whole grains. They have direct impact on immune function, helping you to boost immune function after you eat them. And this one is barnyard millet, one of the various types of millets. Cooks nice and soft, just like rice and broken wheat, and you can easily cook it at home in your pressure cooker. No changes required. If the first time it's dry, add a little bit of water. If it's undercooked, keep it for 1 or 2 whistles extra, or cook it for 5-10 minutes extra, and that's it. Super simple, super easy to cook. And the final dish from today's meal is this one. All right, the last time I did this, it spilled all over me, so I'm going to be a little careful. I hope you can see it. This is a delicious bowl of chana masala. One of our favorite North Indian dishes to eat. I'm sure you enjoy it as well. Steamed Kabuli chana mixed with this delicious gravy, and I'll show you how we made it. So we just steam the kabuli chana. Then the gravy is made from onion and tomato pastes, and we added a little bit of palak puree to it. That's why you see it in this color. And we cooked it along with garam masala, some turmeric, all the herbs and spices, right, to boost your immune system. Garam masala, turmeric powder, some coriander powder, cumin powder, chili powder, pepper powder. You can even add in some rose petals if you like. You can put some bay leaves, some cinnamon, star anise to give it that extra nice fragrance. And then at the end, once the masala is almost finished cooking, you add in some cashew butter once again. The cashew butter makes it nice and rich, creamy, delicious. And then once it's all cooked and come together, you add in your steamed chana. Mix it all together, add in a little bit of miso paste. Oh, by the way, we don't use salt directly. We always use salt in the form of miso paste as far as we can, because the soya phytonutrients help to protect your body from the negative effects of that salt. So you can just add some salt in soya beans, I guess, or you can use miso paste, whichever you prefer. So that's how we made this delicious chana masala with zero oil and zero dairy products. And finally, to top off the meal, we have a yummy, yummy dessert. It's called the flaxseed laddus. So flax seeds are the healthiest seeds on the planet because they have this chemical called lignans. So what lignans do is they help your body to various things. One of the most important things is they help you prevent cancer, they boost immune function, they help you to lower your blood pressure, and so many other fantastic benefits. So we eat one of these laddus which just has two ingredients, flax seeds and dates ground up together, and it's fortified with vitamin B12, one of the most common nutritional deficiencies, regardless of whether you're vegan, vegetarian, or non vegetarian, or on a whole food plant based diet, is vitamin B12, because you don't get B12 from food, you get it from nature, from bacteria that live in soil, that that we excrete in stools, that live in natural water bodies like rivers, ponds, and lakes and wells. So if you're living in a forest, in a tribal community, or even in a village, you might be getting enough vitamin B12. But if you're living in a city like I do, you don't get that B12 access. So what we do is we fortify the laddus with enough vitamin B12 for you. There are various dosages depending on your age and many flavors as well. And we eat one laddu after every single meal. We've even had some people who came to us and said, I remember this lady, she said, I was non-vegetarian all my life and I got diagnosed with a B12 deficiency. And then I took your laddus and I switched to whole food plant-based diet. My B12 is better than it's ever been. And that helps to protect your immune health as well. And that's it. That is how you make and enjoy delicious, healthy meals all day, every day. I mean, if someone cooked food like this and gave it to you every day, wouldn't that be great, right? And that's exactly what you can do. You can cook food like this at home every single day and enjoy it guilt-free, knowing that it's going to help you and your family get healthier and live happier lives. And so that's about the meal. Let me also show you what you can do during snack times. We're approaching the end of this talk, so I'm going to show you quickly a few of the snacks that we have and some of the special snacks that you can make at home or order online. So this one, this is a box of chocolate hearts, and these hearts, you can see them here, um, beautiful looking, delicious sweets. They are completely raw. I'll tell you how we made them. We took some almonds, we took some cocoa beans, and we took some dates and ground the three of them together and added some vanilla seeds, not extract or artificial flavoring, but the actual seeds of the vanilla plant, ground it up and added it to the mix, then shaped it into laddus, added some nice almond shavings on top, and it's irresistible. This is the box as it came in today, but ask me for a photo after the week, I'll show you an empty box. That's how great they are. And you can make them at home. We have several recipes on nutritionscience.in, and you can even order these on Sampurna Ahara and get it delivered, home delivered, wherever you are in India. And It's not just snacks, but you can even have so many varieties. I mean, not just sweets, but many varieties of snacks also. For example, this is a karanji or a karjika or a gujia that's baked and not fried. And how do you make this? You use whole wheat instead of maida for the shell, and you bake it in an oven instead of frying it in oil. And for the stuffing inside, instead of sugar or jaggery, you use a stuffing made with dates and dry fruits and nuts. That's how we made this karjikai. This is, I think, our most favorite snack. More people order this than anything else. So it's absolutely amazing. It has this nice crunchy outside and the soft, gooey, and delicious inside. And if I don't stop talking about it, I think I'll start drooling all over this video as well. And then we have some innovative snacks that you could make at home as well. So this one is called the masala vada crackers. It's like a cracker, it's nice and thin and crunchy and easy to break, but it has the flavor of a masala vada that you have with your evening beverages, right? So, and this is something that we came up with. Absolutely fantastic. And why don't you tell me what are some ideas that you can think of? Put them in the comments of this video. Maybe we'll try them out together. And we have spicy oat crackers as well. So these crackers are made from oats. And they have some flax seeds, they have some soap, there's some oregano in them, some till, and so many fantastic herbs and spices. Spicy, and my wife Shyamla's favorite. Shyamla's also co-founder of Sampurnahara, and she loves these crackers. And finally, to bring in the Christmas spirit, I'd like to show you these delicious pita crunchies. So this is your regular pita bread, which you make with whole wheat and not maida. Then you cut them into triangles and coat them in this delicious masala mix. There is some, I call it a masala mix, but it's more Italian herbs and spices than a masala mix. There's some oregano, some thyme and rosemary, and some nut butters mixed in, some chilies, chili flakes, and a little bit of miso paste. And then you bake it in an oven. It's nice and crunchy and crispy. You can just hear it, and it's fantastic for serving with your vegan cheese, serving at your party, serving it to your friends and family. They will absolutely enjoy crunchy snacks like this. And what we do at home is we keep a box of crunchy snacks like this on our table at all times, so that when we feel hungry, when we have that craving to eat something, we have something healthy to reach out to. We never indulge in unhealthy snacks because we always have something yummy and delicious and healthy right there within our arm's reach. That's the secret to healthy snacking, which can help you to improve your immune function while enjoying your desserts and snacks. You can even make cakes and cookies. I told you about the Christmas cake recipe. Now let me tell you about this delicious hazelnut chocolate cookie that we have just made. It's a new recipe that we've made for Christmas 2022. So this has hazelnuts. Those are actual whole hazelnuts that you see, and it's sweetened with dates. The richness, the oil, the fat comes from the hazelnuts itself, not from oil, but from actual whole ground up hazelnuts mixed into the batter. And the chocolate flavor comes from cocoa beans, cocoa powder. And the base used is whole wheat and not maida. That's how you bake a delicious yet healthy cookie. So many more recipes like this that you can make at home that are whole food plant based, yet help you to boost your immunity and keep you healthy and safe. Now, I'd like to show you one last dish that I'm sure you're never going to forget. And remember, going forward, this dish is what I'm going to enjoy with my next meal. This is a yummy, delicious, plant-based pizza, whole food, plant-based pizza from Sampurna Ahara. It has a base that's made with whole wheat, and it has a nice, a thick layer of cheese on top. Now the cheese is made from, you won't believe me, potatoes and cashews. Just try it out at home if you haven't tried it yet. Right? Boil some potatoes, grind up some cashews in the mixie, then grind the potatoes along with the cashews. That's how you make potato cheese. You can add some garlic, some oregano, chilies, vinegar, some miso paste. Tastes absolutely delicious. And that's how we made this cheese, which forms a nice layer on top. And inside, we have once again a vegetable that ticks both of our healthy vegetable boxes. It's a cruciferous vegetable and it's a green leafy vegetable. Can you guess which one I'm thinking about? The vegetable in this pizza is kale. Kale leaves are inside this pizza, which you never realize because it's so delicious. Kids are just going to gobble it all up with some olives on top and a few like some mushrooms inside, and it's an absolutely delicious delight. You can make this at home in your oven. If you don't have an oven, you can make it on your chapati or dosa tawa itself. It's super easy to make, and serve it to your family. Fresh hot pizza from the oven, which you know is healthy for them. So the possibilities are endless. You can make tens of thousands of different dishes. You can pretty much make anything you enjoy using whole food plant-based ingredients. That can help you to boost your immunity. That can help you to prevent chronic inflammatory diseases, autoimmune diseases, and hypersensitivity disease. It can help you to prevent infections. It can help your kids stay safe. It can help the elders in your family stay safe. And it can help you stay safe to take care of yourself and all of them as well. I hope this video was useful for you, and I hope to see you soon on our nutritionscience.in courses and on our Sampurna Ahara community groups. And if you check out the offers section of the Health Revolution 2022, you'll find a bunch of offers from Sampurna Ahara Nutrition Science that you can grab. So make sure you grab it before it runs out. I see people have already started taking it, so make sure that you don't miss yours. And and before I close this video, I'd like to ask one request from you. You have learned, I'm sure, so many things on this Health Revolution Summit. And my request to you is whatever you've learned from here, please don't keep it to yourself. These are secrets that should not be secret, and I'm sure you agree with me. These are secrets that every person should know. All your loved ones should know, your family, your friends, the people you care about the most. If you want them to live longer, happier, healthier lives, please share this with them. You can direct them to this website, healthrevolution.in. You can direct them to our websites, nutritionscience.in and sampurnaahara.com for more information, and get them to join the community, and let's all live happier, healthier lives using plant-based nutrition and lifestyle medicine through a healthy lifestyle. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this useful, informative, and interesting. And my name is Dr. Achyuthan Eswar, and it was a pleasure speaking with you today. I hope you have a great day ahead. Wishing you the best of health. Be blessed.